Let's get to the first caller. I want to hear what they have to say.
I love it. Daniel, you're up first, man. We had Manos come up here and say, I just want to reiterate, Manos and his New Yorker tone is pretty awesome.
What's going on, family?
Daniel, dude, come on up. Introduce yourself to Michael a little bit. And I'm not sure if Michael's familiar with you and your story at all, or how you trade and or whatnot, but I would really love if you don't mind echoing that reverberance of who and what you are in your story a little bit.
All right, SparkNotes version. My name is Daniel, 38 years old. Been studying your concepts, Mike, since July 25th, 2023. And the way I typically approach price is through, time frame alignment, waiting to see multiple time frames going in the same direction, and then getting in on those macro times, right? What we talking about, order blocks, FEGs. Taking them to those pools of liquidity that are nearby, calling it a day. But what I wanted to echo off of the space, I came in on the tail end of it, coming out of the gym. But there were two things that stuck out to me in relationship just to my journey. Um, if for those who don't know, my wife passed away last June, right? So that would have been, a couple of years into this whole trading experience, and the emotional upheaval that I went through, with that event, was nothing short of life shattering, right? And as it relates to this endeavor and what we're doing here, I want to relate that to the idea of letting time do its thing, right? Letting time do the heavy lifting. Because it's one thing to study the concepts, it's one thing to do the back testing, to study the live market, to tape read, to be present for that. That will unfold inside of us as it does. There's another aspect that I think we need to recognize is occurring, and that is whether or not we are personally in the season to be part of that unfolding, right? Because for me, one of the things I had to recognize was that emotionally, although I may have felt good, I may have felt clear, there was still so much in that undercurrent that was unsettled. And markets being what they are, my temperament being what it is, I recognize, like, so like I said, my wife passed in June. It wasn't until I would say late January, mid February of this year where I like started to attempt to get back.
This is while you're raising four children, mind you. You forgot the caveat that you have four lovely children that you are raising on your own and providing for on your own as you're
and
dealing
and
with and mourning the
and
loss
homes
of your wife
and homeschooling.
and homeschooling. So there's that caveat.
Very
You
true.
glazed over that difficulty.
Well, bro, it's not a difficulty. It's just part of the equation,
No, for sure. I agree.
right?
The part of the equation is a great way of putting it. And anyway,
It
pretty
just is what
please
it is.
continue. I didn't mean to interject. I just wanted to add that quickly.
Definitely, it matters. But yeah, man, it's recognizing that although I may have felt ready, emotionally I wasn't. And so I've really been easing back into things, not wanting to do more damage because I really hurt myself at the end of, was it 2024? Um, blew a couple of accounts and just kind of recognized that, like I can't continue to be the same trader that I was. And it was one morning in particular. I woke up, my broker said, "Hey, funds you deposited have been cleared for use." I'm like, "Great." I'd also just gotten either a Top Step or Apex eval, right? But like a day or two before. So I remember this one particular morning, got on, blew the eval, and then immediately proceeded to blow my personal account as well. Same day. And I was like, the pain I felt in that moment was insurmountable. Right. So I was like, I can't continue in this way. And so I took myself off the live charts and decided to kind of put myself back in this boot camp to where I felt like I'd be, prepared. And I was really kind of gearing up to go back in the live market in October of 25. But with the passing of my wife June before, it's just all the stuff up in the air. So the point I want to make here is that we may feel ready, within our conscious mind, but taking the time to truly see ourselves clearly and being honest with ourselves, because the potential for returns are so great that it truly can cloud our judgment. We can feel the need, especially when we are in need, right? Especially when things are tight, when we're feeling the pressure at the gas pump, when we're feeling the pressure at the grocery store, when ribeyes are $20 a pound. It's like I have to do something. And we look at trading, we look at this amazing tool that we have in our hands, and it's like, oh, I can I can make my rent money in a single trade if I just use two minis, right? If I use 18 micros, I can do this. But trading from that emotion, trading from that place of lack, because that's what it is not going to cover up. It's not going to soothe the underlying pain. So on this first point, like I said, we might feel ready. Time is going to do what it's doing, but we have to be in the proper season to benefit from that expansion, to benefit from that unfolding. And the second thing I want to say, and I'm gonna sit down, just echoing you, Mike. This idea of the voice. Oh my gosh, I love this. And every time you mentioned it, bro, I laugh to myself because I've experienced it. There have been so many occasions where I'm in the charts, I'm studying, um, sometimes not even really looking for anything in particular, but I'll get this intuitive hit, something to say, "What's that?" And I'll look and I'll say, "Hmm." And I'll see sort of the sequence and price that sort of unfolded, and I begin looking at multiple days, multiple sessions, just like at these particular sequences, and it's exactly like you said. Look here, look left. What's that? And I want to kind of encourage everybody to truly take the time to digest what's being taught. Again, allow time to do the heavy lifting. There is literally no rush. As long as the markets are open, we will continue to have this opportunity. There is no rush. If you don't see it today, maybe you'll see it tomorrow. If not tomorrow, maybe next Monday. But eventually, if you stick with it, there will come a time something will chime up and you will say, hey, look at that. And it's truly, I believe, a combination of our own study plus Michael's experience in his teaching and just the exposure to the charts, to the ideas, to the concepts while the teaching is occurring. There's so much happening underneath the surface of our conscious mind. We're picking up on so many things that's just giving the spirit fodder to give back to us. And here's the thing, we don't have to try. Yes, we have to put in the effort, but those insights, those revelations will happen of their own. It's called grace. This entire endeavor is grace. The fact that we have this opportunity is a grace. It was not meant for us to be here. Don't y'all realize? Like, we can literally change our life. Like my man LV says all the time, we can change our life with a candlestick. I don't think y'all realize how significant this really is. But because because it's so great, because it's such a massive amount of grace, it truly comes with a huge responsibility. It comes with the responsibility to discipline ourselves, to master our internal states, to master our minds, to master our bodies, and most of all, to master those little gremlins, fear and greed, which have been driving human experience from the beginning of time. We cannot allow the perception of greatness, the desire to be appreciated, wanting to be liked and loved for what we had. We can allow that to pull us off track. Throughout the teachings, throughout the mentorships, uh, we know ICT has laid out a clear pathway forward for us. And this is bringing back to mind there's this verse in Isaiah that says, "You'll hear a voice in your ear saying, 'This is the way, walk therein.'" I don't know if you've experienced this, but there have been multiple times in my trading career so far where I would be in a session, I would hear Mike's voice in my mind, "Don't do that. Why are you doing that? That's not like," so many times, right? But that's what happens when you're connected to the source of this information, it's always with you. So we don't have to worry, we don't have to stress, because that guidance is always with us when we submit ourselves to what it is that we're being given. That's all I got, Kitt. I appreciate y'all, man.
Well said, brother.
Daniel, I just want to add, and as someone who has come through this in a similar way, I want folks to understand pain. Pain is a neutralizer. Suffering is a neutralizer, and loss is a neutralizer. Those of you who haven't suffered loss might not understand intuition as well. What it is, this idea of maybe praying and actually knowing that there's a soul on the other side that's listening. And that's lifting your prayer. Loss, if you've ever had that in a parent, in a relationship, in a child, any way, if you incur loss, you can get in touch with your own intuition. And intuition is something that as a trader, you kind of need to have. And if you're an ICT-based trader, and we're really tapping in to our thought and our feeling. I'm breaking up, but I'm back, all right? Thought and feeling are really important, right? Thoughts and feelings are really important, and tapping into that with your vibration, with your voice, with your intention. When you can have good intentions and when you can raise up what has been painful and you can surrender yourself to God, you'd be shocked at what he gives you. You'd be shocked at the light that shines onto you. And it really, really takes suffering. It really takes hurting. And it almost pains me in saying this, but I can tell you I've been there. I know what loss is like. I've lost people. And as a trader, you want to know what? I don't give a fuck if you ever look at my P&L, ever. You're going to know me from my losses. Because my losses, they've taught me a lot. And my losses have included quite a bit that have absolutely nothing to do with money. And when that happens, it puts money into perspective. It also puts your intuition into perspective. You can start to listen to that voice that Michael mentions, that Daniel is mentioning. And some of you can really get in touch with that. And one of the things that we're doing as a collective consciousness is we're really talking about manifestation. How do you manifest? You vibrate. You are a frequency. You are an energy. And you need to understand that you actually come from a program that is built to self-destruct. You are coming out of a darkness that is self-destruction, okay? You got to understand the frequency and the energy that is coming from the lower vibratory states in the realm in which you have come from, reek of self-destruction, self-pity, right? You are coming from that vibration, and you need to literally go counterclockwise. You need to literally, we can talk crystals, we can talk a lot of things, but you have to undo that state. You have to undo that state, okay? You undo that state by going counterclockwise, and you energetically denounce any curse that you have, any bad energy that you have on you, because you're here for good energy. You're here for the good. There's nothing bad. There's nothing self-destructive. There's nothing that will hold you down, because you're here to lift up, to be good, to manifest, to create. And the markets will provide. You can do that. You can do that with this knowledge, with this information. You have to align yourself. You have to break the spell of self-destruction, of self-hate. And trust me, I'm the mayor of that town. Do you know how many times I have built myself up and then through my own self-hate, knocked myself back down? And as a trader, you'll do it all the time. There's a curse, and it has to do with you being here. And the only way that you're going to get out is you have to acknowledge it, and you have to step away from it. And that means that is the point of being religious. That's it. You're lifting up to him. You're stepping away from the curse that is where we live. That is, by the way, it's evil here. By the way, the power, everything that is, it's evil. And you got to step up and wake up and be good. And you have to be that force of good. And coming together, that's what we get to be. And as a collective consciousness, you get to feel that. The goodness that has entered within Michael, has entered within me, has entered within Daniel, has entered within Manos, has entered within Wolf, has entered within you. And we denounce evil. We denounce curse because we're here for good. And that's all we have to do. Because now you can manifest through thought, energy, and vibration. That means you got to talk about it. You got to talk about it. You got to talk about it. That's your.
Hey, Kitt, can I add one more thing?
Please. I'm fired up.
Bro, it's no wonder your city ain't got no energy. It's all with you. Uh, but as you're talking about, like being here for good, it reminded me of this experience I literally just had 2 nights ago. So my baby brother and I weren't seeing eye to eye for the last couple of months. He came down to North. Da, 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 da. First of all, getting ready to leave the house. The same voice that would tell me to look left, look here, said to me, send him something in this cash out for his birthday. I'm like, okay, that's small, right? We get to dinner. We're there. The conversation comes up. How are we splitting the check? It's me, it's him, his wife, my mother, and all of our kids. And so I'm like, all right, I'll take care of me and the kids. And it was like, okay, cool, I'll take care of mom and da 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 da. We're good. And then that same voice said to me, pay for the dinner. And I said, God, is that you? And sometimes with me, God doesn't repeat himself. It's like, you heard what I said, take care of business. And in my mind, I'm like, man, the way my bank account is set up, we've been running on faith and favor for the last several months. But all right. And so I called the waitress over. I'm like, hey, forget what they're talking about, splitting the check, put it all on one, I'll take care of it. And not even, I'm not saying this like kind of brag, like, oh, I got it like that, because I don't yet. But it's one of those things where we have to recognize that that same leading and guiding that occurs for us on the charts will happen in our lives daily. And it will be in those opportunities that we have in order to actually be the goodness in this world, because that's how it occurs. We can't wait for somebody else to step up. We can't wait for specific legislation or policies or another team of people. Like, we have to be the ones. It is up to us in order to make those changes. Feel me?
I love it, buddy. I love it. I'm fired up, Wolf. I want you to jump in. I feel kind of emotional here, but I want you to tap in, man. I'm feeling it. I really am. This is a good vibe, and I'm fired up. You there, Wolf?
Yeah, I'm here. You might hear a noise in the background. My wife's already cooking up a storm.
All right. I mean, if you got a minute, you can tap in.
Yeah. Gosh, that space was awesome. Uh, Something that and the follow through so far has been awesome. Let me just try and collect my thoughts for a second here. Um, yeah, so 48. Been pursuing trading since 2019, end of 2019, 2020. Fib trader, OTE is my model. And back in the beginning phases of my journey, I had a similar experience, and this was why I was so drawn to Michael. I would sit on my chart, on my trading station, and I'd be able to call out the candles, and I'd call my wife over and be like, "Honey, what? Look, now this candle's going to move here," and it would, and I'd be like, "Now it's going to go there," because I was having those kind of experiences where the look there experience. But um, my relationship with the Lord, I mean, I've been a believer pretty much all my entire life. I got saved at a young age and started following the Lord in my teens, like hardcore, after I like rededicated. And, but I've had these seasons and these periods in my life where it's almost like the Lord wants me to chase him. And so, like, he will show me something and then he'll kind of withdraw his voice and withdraw his presence. And then I have to kind of like follow through. And I, in my training journey, I did the stupid mistake of when he did that, I panicked and I started falling into the retail logics and into scrambling to find indicators and stuff that might show me the same things in the charts. And my charts were just like filled with, every every kind of indicator you could think of, stochastics and Bollinger Bands and everything. And I just got, analysis paralysis. And then, I had the kind of the counsel from my mom and other people to just like, take a step back and reconnect with the Lord on it, and even, dedicate time in the morning to what I call silence and solitude. Some might call it meditation. So like I will try to do like an hour of that in my space in my house where it faces the woods and my backyard, because I like connecting with the Lord through nature. And but I guess and then got back into it like that. And I'm a mess if I don't have that time with the Lord first before I engage with the charts and with the market. But my question in this for Michael was, have you ever had that kind of experience with the Lord where he shows you something in the charts and then he withdraws, you know? And how did you yourself deal with that if you've ever had that? I don't profess to be anything like you in the markets, but I've had these similar experiences, and it was like finding you was like that moment where you're like, I'm not insane. I'm not crazy. It's like someone else is hearing him say, look here, now this candle's going to do this. Now it's going to do that, you know.
Well, I mean, I have lots of experiences of where I felt the Lord speak, and I've heard. And it's not always an audible, but it's many times it's like internal, like it's either in your belly or it's in your chest. It's like in that area. You feel like it's gently but forcing itself where you're paying attention. You're not gonna ignore it. You're definitely gonna notice it. And it's not your internal voice. It's not your conscience. Your conscience is your internal voice. It's you talking to yourself, reasoning with yourself without audibly saying anything. The experiences when they're not audible are like that. It's like the impression that you get through your own conscience talking to you, but it's this very, very calming voice. It's a male voice, but it's not thunderous. It's not like, you don't want to hide underneath a table when you hear it. It's very confident. You want it to keep talking. Like you want it to keep speaking to you, but it's always real short, succinct, just what's necessary. That's it. I've had,
Yep, the still small voice. Yeah,
yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
I've had incidents where I had a revelation shown to me about something that I was struggling with, and I got it. I pursued it, and then it was a long period of time between that incident and the next one. And in between that, I was asking for him to speak to me more. Like I wanted more of that, more of that. And I was just looking for any kind of stage to present to him and say, okay, what about this? I'll turn the tables and I'll start asking you, is this something I should be looking at? And I would get nothing. It would be periods of just, and I'm not going to say anything right now. I'm going to be quiet. And what I was discovering was I was becoming, at that time, very arrogant. And I was getting very prideful. And I was skirting the edge of this is me doing this. Is this really me? Am I imagining this? Is it just me and I'm just looking for some kind of excuse to justify my own skill set improving? And I was secretly skirting along the lines of obedience and allowing him to have the glory, allowing him to have the honor. And that's why I'm adamant about it now, because I have had periods where he went quiet and I didn't gain anything new. He didn't take away, but he didn't talk for a long time. And it was because of my sin. It was my pride that was increasing, and he hates pride. He hates it. He literally hates it. That's why he's punishing his son, Lucifer. That's his problem. He was prideful. So it's important while you're learning this stuff to obviously invite him. And I know some of you may not be spiritual. I don't call it religious because religion's a problem. That's what we have right now going on in the world. That's the problem. Religions are the source of evil, all of them. And when Christ came, he put that down. And now it's a relationship with God. You have a direct path right to him. And I'm telling you, with no uncertain terms, that the only reason why I know these things is because he guided me into it. He guided me over a long period of time in very, very supernatural. I'm just going to say it. It's supernatural. And I don't really care what anybody's opinion of it is because I lived it. I have no way of saying that this is how I got it any other way because I didn't get it any other way. And I don't want to take the glory from him because I can't. I don't want to strip him of it. I want him to receive all of it. And because it came from him, it's his. He's designed everything. And if you understand scripture, everything that is because he allows it. He holds it together by his word. So you can argue and say it's the globalists that, have this algorithm and they use it to fleece people and blah, blah, blah. And that's demonic. The fact that it's still allowed to exist is by whose authority? Christ's authority. So if he's the author of it, he's the finisher of it, he knows the end from the beginning, I'm encouraging you as the student, if you're struggling, put down your ego, put down your pursuits of materialism, and to answer your question, he loves for us to pursue after him. We want to run down, we want to run down on Jesus. We want to run up on him. We want to chase him. We want to pursue him. He wants that from us, just like a good shepherd would. When a lamb's born and its mother rejects it, unless the shepherd steps in and tends to it, it'll die. It'll die. But while that shepherd nurtures it and feeds it, it gets attached to the shepherd. It hears its voice. It understands that this is the one that takes care of me. I trust this one. And when it talks, I can trust when it calls for me, it's not going to hurt me. It's not going to neglect me like my mother did. I'm going to be tended to and nurtured. So when you watch a shepherd walk out there, even years past when they were little, if that shepherd calls out, the first lambs and sheep that run there is the ones that he took care of because they know his voice. He's the source. He's the reason why you know me. And he's the reason why this stuff works. I don't care what religion you come from. Put it to the test. Ask him to help you understand it, help you see it, understand more about it, and do it with the perspective that you don't want to get rich because you want to get rich. Ask him to help you meet your needs and bless your hands. That way you can bless some other people. Not for the glory of doing it, but to help other people because he enables you to do so. And I am of the absolute 100% conviction that that's prayers he likes to answer. He's in a hurry to answer those. He wants that stage to show up and show off. He wants that because he gets all the glory. You're asking for skill set. You're asking for blessings that are just not going to go to you. You're going to spread it. And you're going to give an opportunity for other people to know who he is. What is his character? He's a provider. He's a provider. And what will happen is he'll start opening your understanding up. and he'll test you. He's going to test you. If I give you this little piece of information right now, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to behave? Are you going to be prideful? Are you going to be arrogant? Or are you going to be responsible with it? Are you going to take the initiative and run with it and pretend it's yours and you earned it? Or are you going to be sober-minded and say, you know what, I'm thankful for this, and I want to trust this in the future more often, and I'm going to lean on this understanding that's given to me. And then what happens is he gives you a little bit more. Where there's a little bit given, there isn't much required. When there's a lot more given, there's a lot more required and expected of you. But see, all of us, we expect everything right away. If there's a God, why does he allow suffering? Because you don't learn otherwise. You won't learn. I wish God would just make it easy for me. Why don't you just make it easy for me, God? Why don't you just let me make a lot of money, because this is so hard? Why does he have to do that for you? Well, what did you do to deserve it? None of us deserve that. I don't deserve it. But when you come to him and you say, hey, look, I believe that you're in control of everything. Everything is in your hands. My life, the sustenance, the provisions, they all come from you. All of it comes from you. And search my heart. Know that what I want to do is provide for my family. And if you give me more than what's required for that, give me the heart and spirit to be able to bless others that are in need. And I'm telling you, I'm telling you, in Jesus' name, I'm telling you, that's the stuff he loves to answer. That's where he manifests himself. That's where he shows up. And then he's going to wait and see how you deal with it. He's going to see what you do with that. Are you going to try to take credit for it? Are you going to try to take all the credit that you deserved to have this success? And then people are going to come up. They're going to say, man, you're the GOAT. Man, you're so good. You earned this. You worked so hard. You earned this. I didn't earn it. I didn't earn this. I did not earn it. And you can't earn it either. You can have wild success, or you can have your ends met. Ultimately, your relationship with him will dictate that, because he can put a stop right to just meeting your needs. He might keep you there for a little while. He's grooming you. You ain't going to feel it. You're going to feel like this concepts are not working as well. They're changing something, or you're failing. When it's him just grooming you. He's holding you there, reminding you, listen, if I just let you go right now, you're going to go get yourself stuck in something. Now I got to go chase after you and save you again. Whereas if I keep you right here and I ground you right where you're at, and you acknowledge the fact that your needs are being met. Why do you need to have that Lamborghini? Everybody else is talking about how, oh, I bought this Lamborghini. I got this new big old house. If you're chasing that, you're not chasing him. If you're not chasing him, why is he obligated to do anything more for you? See the perspective? It's got to stop being about self. You got to be a provider if you have children, a spouse, a home to take care of, and you have to take care of yourself. Because unless a man works, he can't eat. And by trusting him and asking him, give you understanding. Bless your understanding. Let your study time be fruitful. By doing that, you'll see that he will do when he wants to do it, how he wants to do it, but don't immediately expect that it's going to be a flood of everything. You're going to understand everything at all. It's going to be small little pieces, little bits at a time. And he's going to see, how are you going to deal with that? Are you going to run away with it like you're the greatest in the world and invite opportunity for people to do that and say you're the best, you're this, you're that? Or are you going to be sober-minded, humble, and give him all the glory? Then he can trust you with it. You'll get a little bit more. And that's the pursuit. That's the journey. Where is he going to take you? I'm interested in that. That's the storyline I want to hear. I want to hear what you're doing with it. That's what I'm talking about. I want to hear God in your life. I want to hear God's storyline through you and your experiences and what He's pressed upon you to touch other people's lives. It may be like a small little thing at the time when you feel inspired to do something, but that's Him testing you. Where's your heart? Because if it's all about you and you love yourself, only you, I got to put my money, I got to buy some nice things for me. Bless yourself. That's not biblical. Bless yourself. It's all over TikTok. My wife shows me all the time. Look at this here. And these men and women, yeah. We're rich in God. We're rich in Christ. Bless yourself. Wrong. Wrong. A blessing is not something you do for yourself. That's selfishness and greed. A blessing is what you do for others with no expectation for a return on the investment.
And the decision making, the asking for guidance, the being able to actually realize, and what Michael's saying is so true, you're going to be tested and you must submit to time. You are the breadth of a candle, and you're going to be held, and you're going to be held within a specific amount of time for a time frame, and then you're going to be questioned and you're going to be challenged, and the decisions that you make are going to be tested. And there's going to be times that the decisions that you make, you're going to question them yourself, and you're not going to follow through. You're not going to have the conviction based on the decisions that you're making. When you don't have that conviction, guess what? It's going to take longer. How do you find conviction? You seek guidance. Where and how are you seeking guidance? You're here seeking guidance. We're all here seeking guidance. But ultimately, what we're talking about is not religion. We're talking about spirituality. We're talking about our higher selves. Within being a collective consciousness, within being a global community, we are one. Within being one, it's not about being divisive. Some folks can find reasons to divide, where instead, as a consciousness, we unite. And that's the manifestation of what we are doing is exactly that. And being able to feel it, that energy, that conveyance of energy is very real. And that's what we're doing. And we're going to keep the conversation going because it's fantastic. I love this pause for reality, in that if you want to become a good trader, you better get in touch with your higher self. Most folks, when you're young and dumb, aren't really even cognizant of that. It typically takes until you've had to incur pain. Pain, loss. The more pain, the more loss, the more you'll find yourself on your knees, trying to find some understanding and way to cope. And that's when you have to submit to His guidance. And you're not better than. You can't do it by yourself. You need your higher self to intervene within your life. You need your higher self to help pull you up within this consciousness that we live in, because there's so many things that can easily pull you back down. And when you're constantly tested, you got to understand, to be a good person, it's simply making a decision. But you have the ability, the propensity to do something or to make a bad decision as you do a good. Conscientiously seeking guidance and then making good decisions is something that you can build upon. There's positive causal effects. And within seeking guidance and within finding delayed gratification, you must understand, to do this and to do this correctly, the submission of time simply means delayed gratification. It means you're not going to get what you want out of this until the time is correct. And the sooner you can conceptualize that you must submit to time. You must submit to time. All of us within our own realm are some form of a candle that's forming. And you're forming and you're balancing, you're accumulating, you're going to get thrown off. You're going to get spun out in manipulation. And then you're going to realize that you're fucking going the wrong way. And then you're going to get on board. And then you're going to get back to distributing in the correct direction. I mean, candle breadth AMD, that's you in your life, and that is the series of decisions that you're making each and every day. It's very easy to draw that parallel, especially within this community, especially if you've studied Michael's work, especially if you've submitted yourself to this higher power. And I do believe that is a common denominator within our community, and I'm very grateful for that. The comments are very, very good. This is a very strong discussion we're having. And I would love to get back to the comments, each and every one of you. If you don't mind hitting that purple pill, you'll see there's quite a few comments here, folks engaging within the conversation. Diamond Leone with some great questions on TGIF, Hunt Trades. Can't wait to get into the conversation. Johan seems pretty interested in understanding a few things in regards to the first Prezi. But pretty please, I implore that you look at the comments, everybody. And we do have a protocol, and I am excited to have you guys come up, answer your questions, and engage in the conversation. So let's continue doing that.
Kitt, can I say one last thing?
Pretty please, bro. I put a nice bow on this conversation because it's been wonderful. It really has.
Just wanted to thank Michael quick for his response. Yeah, I had something else that I wanted to say, but my brain just kicked out. I'm gonna eat the
It
wonderful
happens.
steak and cauliflower mash smothered with mushrooms and Chinese veg. My wife just made for me. If
Good
I
for you,
think
Nate.
about it, oh wait, it's coming back to me. Yes, I just wanted to again thank Michael, but also not to break any of the rules of the room, but say that during that period, one of those periods where the Lord kind of withdrew from me, I cried out to him and I asked him for a physical mentor in this journey, and he led me to you. And I will eternally be grateful to the Lord for doing that. So that's all I wanted to say. And thank you. And signing off.
Thank you for sharing
Thank
that,
you,
brother.
Wolf. Yeah, thank you, Wolf. Really appreciate that. And I think we can all resonate with what Wolf said. Wanting and or needing a mentor is definitely okay. And Michael's definitely answered that call. So we're here for that conversation. Pip Munch, you're up next, Pip Munch.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Pip Munch. Welcome to Trader Roundup. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me up. It's been quite a while since I heard a female voice here, so I thought, let me get over my anxiety and get up here. Yeah,
Protocol?
I actually, yes, sorry. Okay, I'm Pip Munch. I'm from the Netherlands. I've been trading since 2023, January. I started back then binging the 2022 mentorship, and then I jumped right into the 2023 following it live. What I do with price, I'm a scalper. I like scalping the 1 minute and the 15 seconds and the 10 seconds. And what I use is mainly the power of 3, and that's after tapping into a high type of PD array and sweeping liquidity. I do that during macros and during the market open. So I also use the regular trading hours opening range gap. Inside of that,
Your charts look lovely, by the way. Clicking on your profile, I really like how you've annotated some of the. I mean, looks very, very 2026 mentorship. So kudos to you.
You.
Nice
Thank
annotations. I like them.
Thank you. And I like the first percent of fair value gaps and the 50% of the open range gap. I also like the silver bullet. I still use it. And to top it off, I also always look at the end log and end dogs as magnets, like Michael has taught us.
So it
It,
sounds to me like you're really applying range and gap logic
yeah,
in a
I
very
love it.
holistic fashion. I mean, I'm very
I
impressed, Pit Munch. I'm very
I,
impressed.
I really love that because I have like Michael has taught us your thing has to fit on a napkin or a business card,
I
right?
love that too. I
So
absolutely agree
yeah,
wholeheartedly. If you can't simplify what you're talking about, it should be painfully obvious that you know what you're talking about.
yeah,
And in a room full of 1,100 people, it's painfully obvious that you know your ICT concepts. So high five, Pit Munch. Yeah.
you're gonna make me shy.
I
Stop
am. I'm
that.
giving you a high five. I love it. Whoa! It's not every day
Thank
I
you.
get to bask in someone's knowledge of Michael's concepts as well as you have clearly articulated on your page. And for me, I really value and appreciate that, Pit Munch. So kudos to you. Your page is
Wow.
sharp, and I really value and appreciate how you are annotating the concepts right now. You make it easier for the community who might not understand something to reference and check. So again, I value
Yeah.
and appreciate you.
Thank you so much. So
Can I
yeah,
ask a
if it's
question?
yes.
When you started learning the material, what was the first thing that you started with? And were you finding success with that, or did you have to leave that to do something else before you found some measurable progress?
When I started before you, or at the wheel start, or with your concept.
You can go back to that as an origin start, but I was
Okay.
specifically asking in general with my content. But
Yeah,
if
we
you want to say where you started, too, that's great.
Pit Munch, we really only care about ICT concepts. I love you, but here we really only care about Michael's work. No offense. He won't say that, but I
Okay.
will. We really, really care about how you've learned ICT concepts and how you've built on ICT concepts. Really. I mean, before
Yeah.
retail world, we understand that. It was, stochastic and waves and bumps and lumps and bruises and,
No,
and
no,
lots of losses.
it wasn't that. It
Okay.
wasn't that.
Go
I
ahead. Go
can be
ahead. Go ahead.
very, very short about it. It was supply demand, support resistance, and I was like, there has to be something better. This is not it. And that's it. Then I went looking and googling and YouTubing, and then I found Michael, and I was like, whoa, this is a lot. And and then I started watching, didn't know where to start, and I saw one comment, and it was a lady that put a comment in one of the videos, and she typed there, at first I was overwhelmed, but now I wouldn't want it anything else, something like that. And that's what clicked for me, and I said, okay, let's do this. And then I started studying Michael's concepts. Um, like I said, I started with the 2022 mentorship. So that's what I started doing. But then the 2023 mentorship also started. And what I was doing
So
is I
you
was, yeah,
No, I'm sorry. So it sounds like you really dove in 2022 and you've been adding the mentorships 23, 24, 25, and 26 just
yes,
kind of as
yes,
weaponry as you've
yes,
conceptualized a rate and break and structure, a displacement, and then the
yes,
retracement back into that retracement with a continuation, right? Or then the inversion, right? So you got
yes,
2022, you got the inversion logic then on the PD array matrix, and then you've just been stacking with that the range logic and then the gap logic that you've learned from 2022, right?
yes. And the first things that I've added to the 2022 mentorship, I remember were standard deviations. And I was like, wow. Yeah,
Ooh.
that's the first thing that I've added to that. And then I was like, this is a nice tool, the FIPS. And then I also started to play around with the FIPS optimal trade entries.
February
And the
February
and
10th, February 10th, 2023 in Michael's YouTube channel, how he utilizes projections institutional
Yeah, so
projections.
that's when it happened because in January I binged the 2022, and then I also was very active following the 2023 mentorship, right? So
February 10th, Saturday, February 10th, there was a space followed up by a 6-minute video instructional. And that really unlocked episode 12 of 2022 mentorship if you studied that. So 2022, episode 12, 23, February 10th. I can tell you, Easter egg, they connect and it's beautiful. Sorry,
yeah,
Michael. I had to do
hey.
it. I had to do it, Michael. I had to
He
connect the
told you
dot for
no.
him. Had to connect the dot. I'm sorry. Had to do it.
No, but it's correct. It fits in the timeline because I started in January and then in February the
See,
process.
I met Michael April 18th of 2023. So everything to me is a very niched, clear detail. So
Yeah,
I remember vividly all of these things. And like what you're
yeah,
explaining
that's
right
cool.
now, it's just wonderful because you really have built your logic on the 2022 and you've
Yes.
literally taken 2022, built your model and made sense of it, articulated it, created your annotations, followed along as a good student,
Yeah.
and then you turn around and you become a good student for 2023 and you supercharge that, just like go into the next gear, right?
Yeah.
We're geared
Yeah.
up here, boys.
Yeah, I remember him saying, "I'm bringing the full artillery," and I was like, "Yeah."
I love
So
it.
yeah, so yeah, and the other thing that I remember to answer Michael's question at the start was also a breaker, and then for a while I also fell in love with the unicorn breaker with the Verdalida. So I was doing that, and then along the way
Ooh, the
things developed.
unicorn. Ooh,
Yes, the
so
unicorn.
so a nested PD array. Imagine a nested PD array in 2026.
Yes.
Ooh. Ooh, that sounds like a good model.
Yeah, so that's what I was doing, and then I kept following every lecture, every lesson, every space. And to be honest, I have been and still doing. I have been taking notes like crazy since then.
I can tell
And
here's the thing. Michael made it a point like Lumi is a very good student. A lot of the female ICT traders, the way in which you annotate, the way in which Lumi annotates,
yeah,
include, I mean, lots of the female traders. The female traders just crush some of the dudes and you see them. I mean, there's fewer of them, so it's easier to see, and they tend to stand out as just being excellent with their annotations, as Michael has already very clearly observed. So ladies, pretty please, it's okay for y'all to flex and y'all to remind everyone else. So in the comments, be like, yeah, I've been here for a minute, and this is how I do it.
yeah.
Okay.
I try to help also. I also try to help others with it as much as
You do,
possible.
Pit Munch. I can tell. I really like your profile. I really do.
I try. But so yeah, that's about it. Just only wanted to add that I use the NROG and NDocs as magnets because Michael said if they are close to it, price will draw to that, and I use that a lot as my draw, and it's wonderful. And
Okay, Pit Munch, can I just add something here?
yes,
If the average everyday trader, if they simply took the point and submitted to time and understanding that core content is your base foundation and understanding of language and understanding it. And then if you were to go through after you have the 2017, you actually internalize what that all of that is, and then you jump into 2022. 2022 is your introduction to range logic within where and how these candles is doing what's they's doings, right? So you start with
yes,
core content, then you go to 2022, and you're going to be looking at this 4-year degree now from 2022. We're here in 26, or we're here
yes,
2016, and we also know there's going to be years that are coming, right? So in our way
yeah,
of presenting what Michael has already done, there are range things that make sense, and then there are gap things that make sense, right? So you're dealing with two very, very, very specific modelistic schematics that Michael has laid out through 16, 17, and then you're going to do what you've done uniformly and literally just go through. Okay, so let's just say this: 16, 17, 1 through 12. You go in episodes 1 through 12 if you have the time, right? If you don't have the time, shit's fucking going crazy. You're going to go with 4, 8, or you're going to go 1, 4, 8, and 12 semester 1. You're going to start with that, okay? Then you're going to do 2022 because you got to understand 2022 if you want to understand range logic, okay? Range logic, and you can't skip the fucking rants. You can't have a TikTok mind and think that you can skip through because you can't. Okay?
Now you have to take notes and you have to backtest.
Yes, thank you. I get fired up because folks think that they're just going to skip through all of this shit and they're going to get it. You got to go through the steps. It's already laid out. There's a master plan. You got to follow it. Okay. So how the plan works is you got 16, 17. It's right there. Then you got 22 through right now. And if you got to kind of dance around and work backwards and trying to connect dots, that's why I'm here, right? I'm the dot connector. I am the Easter egg finder. That's why Michael high fives me and says, Kitt, you're really good, but shut up. Let them find it themselves. So I'm listening, right?
Dr. Black.
I'm listening. Yeah. Except for if folks really need to find it, then they jump in my DMs and I help them connect dots, right? Because that's what I do. I help folks understand.
Okay, I have about this. I have only one last little detail.
Pretty please. Jump in. We love it.
It's one of my favorite things. It's so tiny, but it's one of my favorite things that Michael has taught. And that's how to determine if relative equal highs or relative equal lows are high probability. Because I use those in, like a backbone of my analysis.
Ooh, where did he say this at? Do you remember? Where did he say that?
I have to look at my notes. I have my Obsidian database, and when I go in there, I can find everything. Like he said that word. I have like internal links, and if I click
let's find it and let's highlight it and we'll share it.
Okay, but I don't know if I can find it that fast.
It doesn't have to be right now, silly. I understand. I understand. It doesn't have to be on demand. We get it.
Okay, I'll get it. I get it because I have it. I have everything categorized. But what he said is, it's high probability if you have relative equal highs and the left one is slightly higher than the right one, then it's high probability. And about relative equal lows is if the left one is slightly lower than the right one, then it's high probability. And I started looking at that, every one of them, and I was like, damn, it's true. And that's what I use, and it's pretty good.
Wow, that's such a subtle nuance. I don't even think I would have been able to cite that. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's so like a little sentence that he throws in there, and it's really good. Yeah.
I love it. I love it, Pit Munch. Michael?
Okay, so yeah,
Can I ask a question in regards to, like, because you've been doing it for a couple of years now, while you were progressing and learning and trying to figure out how you're going to use this information, where did you get the encouragement to stay with it before you started seeing progress? Like, where was your motivation coming from?
Your spaces. And till today, I still listen to them almost every day while cleaning, sweeping, mopping, cooking. I have my headphones on and I listen to them. And I started in 2023 with your concepts, but you already had spaces in 2022. And I was listening to those. And in those spaces, you motivate, you explain things. There's a lot of psychology in them. And you also yell at us. And yeah, it's very good and very nice. And those spaces, listening to them every day, got me fired up every day to keep going.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Before I saw results, of course. So yeah, they are pretty good. Yeah.
This is, I will say this is the beauty of this conversation, 11:33. I like the time. is and Pit Munch is actually good feedback for Michael, like where Michael likes to hear feedback from what other folks have to say, but then Michael gets to ask questions as well. Sometimes we like to hear questions from you, but then he gets to ask questions as well. So it's very nice, and it's very
Yeah.
interesting how Pit Munch has sparked a few questions from Michael, and you've done that naturally through how well you've been able to articulate the concept. So again, kudos to you.
Well,
Kudos.
of course, also seeing him do it, because I also see the position, I saw it, and he also keeps telling us like, "I'm gonna teach you right now how to do this." So that stuff like that.
The
So
beau-
that
Go
was
ahead.
already proved, but the spaces were like really, um, like you. That's what really kept me fired up.
I I can say I've known Michael now. Again, we're coming up on 36 months. And you'll hear me talk more about that as we get closer to April 18th and when we had met, etc. That was important for me. It was just another day for him, but it was important for me. And well, regardless of what it was, I don't want to say what it was for him. We've had a really awesome time since then, and within Trader Roundup and the community and the amount of information and knowledge and the exchange and the fluid energy exchange that we've all been able to have to work on getting better with our models and understanding. It's just been wonderful. It really, really has synergistically been great. And Pit Munch, you're a really, really good example of kind of that synergistic kind of torus of energy coming together. Like you
Yeah,
really
I think
are,
so.
because within the community and with who and what we are and what we're doing, you're just a very, very good example of that timeline, right?
Thank you so
Like you,
much.
like you
I
really,
wanted to
really
come
are.
up like a year ago.
Well, yeah, I know you've been around. That's the thing. I know
I
you've been
was
around. I've
shy.
seen you. And I mean, you're in the
I was
DMs.
shy.
I know. That's a lot of people are shy. And a lot of folks and again, like we all have our own things. Because I'm so brazenly not, it's great that I can help try and break that ice, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. You have this platform is amazing what you've done. So yeah, that's that's
yes,
your
and
flowers
and
as
and
well.
Trader
There's
Roundup's not
nothing
going
else. There's
away.
nothing
We're
else like
it's
this.
just going to get better. It's just going to get stronger. We're just organizing more and more in the background.
Yeah,
We're getting all of this information together. Just hearing from you, and I know Michael can agree, like the importance of the spaces and how we've done the spaces.
yeah,
It's really, really cool. And I can tell you on my back end, like we're really organizing
yeah.
everything I've ever done.
Great.
And, as well as, and we're just trying to take what we've had archived and get it kind of put together. So Trader Roundup can be a little more cohesive and uniform. And I want to make it more kind of like core content, right? In the way of, the ICT
Oh,
mentorship, right? So all
cool.
of the stuff that we talk about, we're trying to organize it just so in the background. Like I don't want to
Oh,
create an expectation that doesn't need
no,
to be
that's
there. I
amazing.
just want folks to know that we're really working hard in the background at trying to put this stuff together and just make it easier to find and whatever. So
Yeah,
whatever.
that's
That's
amazing.
a
If
side
if
note.
if
Side
in
note.
the future or now you need any volunteer help, then
No, yeah. I mean, Pit
let me
Munch,
know.
I think we have we have a really good core group of folks that are really trying to take all the audio spaces, that we've done at Trader Roundup and that Michael's done over the years. And there are
Yeah.
so many people who are getting value out of it that I'm really
Yes.
excited that it will be additional free resource. Probably put it at the Trader Roundup YouTube or the Kitt Trades YouTube,
No,
and
it's
just
amazing.
as it work as it let it be just in conjunction for other folks to utilize. So that's coming. I
Yeah.
want folks to know we're working on it. I'm working on it. It's in the background. It's happening real time. We're working on it this quarter. Anyway,
Okay, Kit. Before
yes,
I drop off,
yes.
um, I have a little tiny question. It's like a housekeeping question.
Okay.
I really need a name for the 5 days opening range gaps and the previous 2 Mondays and Fridays opening range gaps combined. And I heard Michael say today grid. So I want to ask if we can call it the opening range gap grid to refer to the whole thing from the highest point to the lowest.
Ooh.
Yes, that's what I refer to it as, and I define it by how many one periods I look back. So if I'm looking at 2 weeks, 20 days, 40 days, 60 days. I'm defining it by that range. So the only difference in terms of how I internalize a label for it, not that I require a label because I'm just doing the analysis of my stuff. But for you as students, grid is fine.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I love that, Pit
Yeah.
Munch. You deserve to be able to ask that question and get clarity on that. You deserve
Yeah,
that.
because
I
I'm
really
talking to other
like that.
people
That's
about it, and
great.
I was like, that's a mouthful.
Well, it's a uniform standard that we can move forward in what has already been applied and taught, and we can build on that, and folks can
Yes.
actually conceptualize what that is. And when we talk about range logic and gap logic and combining all of that within a cohesive grid that Michael has defined, then we're really able to do and really exceed, I believe, in each and every schematic detail that his life's work has provided us.
Yes. Okay. Kit, thank you so much for letting me up. Michael, thank you as well for everything. And
You as well.
that was it for me.
Really love having Pit Munch on. What great energy. You can I'll just tell you guys, if you don't follow Pit Munch and you want to understand some things, again, just like Lumi Trades, who I love, her hubby's pretty active in the community as well, and he's a real G, and I really really enjoy conversations with him. He's Romanian, I believe, and I see another Romanian friend of mine, Maxor, waving. But I mean, really good people. I mean, you want to talk about good people. Lumi Trades and her hubby are just good people. They're in Florida, and they're just part of the community. And I really, really enjoy. And I've had the opportunity of talking to them in some DMs, as I have many of you as well. So I just wanted to put that on Front Street, as Michael had mentioned in his space as well, because they're just good-hearted people that are wholeheartedly just really, followers of what Michael has taught. And as Michael said, they're not trying to take credit for any of it. They're just like, hey, yo, like, ICT is the shit. We love it. So it's like, yeah, everyone does. We all do. So that's why we're here. Diamond, you're up next. Diamond Leone.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How are you doing? We're
I
keeping
am
the feminine energy going.
okay. First off, I am so grateful that you selected me to be able to talk because I just want to say to Michael, thank you so, so much. Now, listen, I'm not even. I'm a new trade. I don't even really consider myself a trader yet until I'm consistently profitable, but I am learning and I am taking in all of this information. I feel like the Lord is speaking to, oh, sorry, let me follow protocol. Okay, so my name is Diamond Leone. I live in Palm Beach, Florida. I'm divorced. I have two grown children. I'm in the second half of my life, which is to create meaning and to, um, to fulfill the calling that's on my heart, which is to help others by turning on a light in a dark place for them. I'm an author. I've written a book, Get Your Happy Back, and so I'm a health and wellness coach by trade. But my previous career has been in real estate investing. I owned a bunch of properties. I fixed them up, rented them out, managed them. So I have like this sort of diverse skill set. I grew up in Maryland. Prince George's County. I love to hear Michael's accent because I say some of the same words that he, like the same, I guess you could say like a accent that Michael has, like Warsh and stuff like that. I love hearing when he,
Intonation. I think it would be intonation, technically, would be the
yeah,
term.
I love hearing him talk. But I want to say, okay, so I fell into trading because the real estate became so stressful, guys, that I would like sometimes cry myself to sleep from just the stress of managing all the properties. And I had built a financial model that gave me freedom financially, but that's it. Like I didn't have a life, I couldn't travel. I was always a slave to taking care of all the demands of my tenants and just, keeping copious like spreadsheets on every property and just the whole thing
So,
swallowed me
but
up.
you follow, it sounds like you follow process. Like you're a slave to process, which is good for
Yes.
success, right? Like you need to be.
Yeah. That's a great point, Kit. Yeah. That like a lot of the skill sets that I learned from that real estate world do help me in just when I'm studying the charts and I'm studying like movement and just the behavior of the market. Like everything is a rhythm in life. Everything is a rhythm, and you just apply it to different, different, trades, right? So it's all a rhythm. And so uh, I knew that there had to be a better way to make money, but also fulfill what I was called to do. See, the thing is that we all think that it's money that we want, but it's not. It's really what's on the other side of that money, which is freedom. But the real freedom comes in, at least this is my perspective, it comes in following what God put in your heart to do while you're here, because we all have a purpose. That's why we're here. And a lot of people miss that. We're just so busy chasing the carrot that's in front of us, which is money, success, fame, notoriety, whatever it is. But that's not the real end game. The real end game is to serve God and to fulfill your purpose while you're here, because you're only here for a certain amount of time. So when you wake up to that, everything looks different. You approach everything differently. You think of things differently. It's like the scales have been removed from your eyes. And so you have to get to that level of evolvement before you truly get it and before you truly understand. And then once you get to that level of awareness, it's like everything else starts to unlock for you. So anyway, back to the trading. So the trading fell in my lap because I started seeking answers. What else can I learn? What other skill set can I learn that would give me this freedom so that I could be freed up to live my calling? So that's when I got into trading, and I've just been really studying a lot, like just trying to understand it. And I got to tell you, when I first started out hearing Michael's lectures and so on, I didn't know where to start. I was like, this stuff just seems like a different language to me. And now it's like every day I'm getting closer and closer. Um, some of the things that just naturally I tend to gravitate to are the relative equal highs, relative equal lows. Like that, I just love that. And I also the event horizon stuff that Michael's been recently talking about. I'm noticing like the equilibrium. When you look at the highs and the lows of not just like a shorter time frame, but a larger time frame. And you look at how the market always comes back to certain levels and stuff like that. So I wish I could spout off certain PD arrays like Pitt Much did. I can't wait to follow her and learn, and, just kind of see what she's doing. But I'm still learning, so I can't say, oh,
That's okay. You don't have to walk up and be the most proficient student. You're applying you're
yeah,
applying the concepts in your life, and we value and appreciate that. You don't have to come up here and pound your chest to be super proficient or anything else. You're learning, and that's awesome. And
yeah.
all the things that you're saying, I think, are very, resonate with what we're doing right now. So that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm definitely still very much a student and trying to absorb this stuff. But one thing I want to say really quick is that Michael, I am obsessed in learning the Berean studies. I cannot even tell you how this has changed my life, how I am so on fire for Jesus and learning I'm so thirsty for his word every single day. I'd rather sit down and study God's word than go on a date, than to do anything else. Like I am so on fire for that because of the way that you have divided God's word. And I don't know, it just spoke to me personally, to my spirit, the way I learn. I don't even want to go to church anymore because it's so lukewarm and so watered down, and it does not feed my soul the way that the true, studying your word does. So I just cannot, forget about the trading. The trading is great, and I can't wait to learn more about it and to become profitable and to learn all the different stuff. I'm really excited about that. But what I'm really excited about is this Berean study that I have found through finding you, Michael, and wanting to learn the trading. So I just wanted to say that because I know you put a lot of time into those videos and a lot of hours and hours and hours of your life to put those studies together. And I just want you to know that more so than the trading, I love that. And that has just been the gold mine for me. So now back to the trading. I do have
Let
one
him
quick.
let him acknowledge that real quick, Diamond. He was going to
Okay,
say
sorry.
something. I
Okay,
mean,
sorry.
you really gave him an opportunity.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's great. I mean, praise God. Thank you for sharing that, because like I see all the people pursue the stuff I talk about making money, and that's really what I'm known for. And I admittedly I get a little discouraged because I'm like, God, I'm using this platform to try to bring more eyes and hearts towards you, and not about me. And I get so encouraged when it's really infrequent. Like it's really infrequent, and I started feeling it again this week. I'm like, they like the videos about trading and they like all that stuff, but I really want people to see this. Like I want them to get closer to him, because he's the secret. Like he's the secret to everything you're looking for. The peace, the happiness, the tranquility, the understanding comes from him. It ain't me. He's giving it to you. It's him. So I want to thank you so much for coming up and just deviating from the topic of trading, and bringing him to center stage about what it is and why I do it.
Oh, Michael, yeah, you're so welcome. And listen, I know that, like I said, we're all here for a reason. And I mean, Lord willing, I want you to, if you can, to keep putting the videos out because, I mean, like you said, I think in the very first video, if it's just one person, that you can make a difference in, then it's worth it. And I am that one. I can tell you right now, unequivocally, I am that one person right now that I know of that is truly absorbing the word and taking that torch. And I'm going to carry it, Michael, just so you know. I'm carrying that torch, and I am
And,
so on
and, and
fire.
and Diamond, I want to interject. 11:50. I like the time.
Oh,
We
sorry,
are
sorry.
Trader Roundup.
Okay,
We
sorry, sorry,
rise by
sorry. Okay.
lifting others. No, listen, listen.
I'm
We
sorry.
rise by lifting others. We are stronger together than we are
Yes,
alone. We can accomplish more together in 1 year than we can accomplish by ourselves in an entire lifetime. And the
yes,
markets will provide. That's why we're
yes.
here. I'm reiterating. This is a perfect time
Thank
to
you.
reiterate
Sorry.
our mission of
Yes.
why and what we are, and what you're stating resounds and resonates with who and what we are and why we're here. Okay.
Okay, you're right. And I'm sorry, Kid, I did not mean to go off topic, but I do have one trading question, if I may. And I had put it in the comments. So, Michael, you had mentioned that as far as like the TGIF Friday, if the market trends in one direction, we can anticipate, I think you said like up to a 20% retracement of that, say, for example, on a Friday.
20
But
to
if
30%.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, 20 to 30%. But if the market is kind of all over the place, opening at different, price points for the new day opening gap, then we could take the high of the week and the low of the week, and then we could, do like a consequent encroachment of that, which would give us 50% of that range. But then we could take, I guess, 40% of whatever the price action was most recently in, say, for example, like Thursday and Wednesday. If we were in the upper, I guess, quadrant of that, we could take 40% of that move. Now, here's the part that I got a little bit confused on. Is it the close? Like we would take 40% of that upper, quadrant, I guess you will, or upper half. And then is that where the market is anticipated to close, or is it just like a price point that we would actually touch at some point that day on Friday, 40% of that upper range, assuming that we were in the upper range of Wednesday, Thursday? Would we do 40% of that in anticipation that the market would move there or close, within 40% of that? Could you give me some more clarification on that?
Okay. TGIF is a retracement idea on the weekly range. So if we had say for instance, we had a one directional week of trading. If it's a down close week, the idea of it trading back up to 20 to 30% of its weekly range, whatever the lowest low for that week up to its highest high, it can retrace before closing up to 20% or 30% from its high to its low. So say for instance, for the perfect example, say it's 100 handles. Obviously, it's going to be more than 100 handles for the weekly range, but say it's 100 handles, and 100 is the high and 0 is the low. If it goes down and creates the lowest low during the week, as we get closer to the time of 1 o'clock on Friday, it's more likely that it's going to gravitate back towards 20% or 30% of the range that it created for that week from its lowest point to its highest point. In extremes, it can go to 40%. Now, how do you apply it to right now? If you look at the weekly range, Monday was the big up move. Then we had a little bit of a follow through. And then Thursday, Friday were lower, but we didn't trade back to its low. Look at the range from Monday's low up to its highest high for the week. And it's retraced a lot of the range, but didn't close on the low or take out the low on Monday. We're inside of a consolidation, so it's not as easy to anticipate TGIF because I'm anticipating expansion out of this range. So try not to worry about so much of TGIF in these environments because we're in a range where it's going to probably go back to the middle of the range. So everything goes back to the middle. So
Okay.
normally in a price running one directional weekly range where predominantly it's moved up one sided, all you're doing is looking for the total range it's moved from its low to high, whatever that highest portion is, from that point, 20% from that high down to 30% in that range. That's where the close usually will be. That's essentially
Okay.
what TGIF is, and reverse when it's going lower. In extremes, it can pull back as much as 40%. But if you use 20 to 30, that's usually a good ballpark where the close of the week is going to be.
Okay. Thank you so much, Michael. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate your time. I really do. And thank you, Kitt, so much as well. And Kitt, I want to learn more about you too. I have to figure out how to get on your channel and just learn more about you. But I love your personality. I love your energy. I love your passion for trading. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate having you. Hopefully, you will also feel the exuded energy I also have for our higher power, for Jesus, for
Yes.
God. I love that this platform also is transmitting that energy. So it's very important to me, and I'm very, very glad. It's a healthy thing, and yeah, it makes me feel it exudes from my heart. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, keeping it going, keeping it flowing. So, Diamond, you got a really good answer, and we've had some really, really good content so far. So, I think it's only right that we just keep the conversation going. But Danny's got his hand up. Danny, you want to jump in here? So, and Pit Munch, guys, if you have a speaker tag, I don't want you to think like you have to go away. I would really love for you in this day. We're all at the table at the fellowship together. I don't want to just jump through. Like, you're invested in the conversation. We are invested in you, and you're here. So, pretty please take advantage of the speaker tag. Feel free to interject whenever you want, and feel free to add to the conversation. I mean, Diamond's really added a few very thoughtful, courageous points within her own journey, and I love it. And I know that Daniel and Pitmunch have things that they could add. So very much lovingly and inclusively, jump in here.
Word. So real quick, unfortunately, I am gonna have to break out in a second. Got to take my daughter to get her hair done. But kind of piggybacking off of Diamond's question, Mike. Um, Thinking about ranges, dealing ranges particularly. One of the things I've been seeing, I feel like I have to go back to core content month one, and the answer is going to be waiting for me. But considering the fact that we're in consolidation now on a higher time frame, one of the things that you have said that has helped me tremendously is that the best longs are going to happen in discount, the best buys, the best shorts happen in the premium. Now, as price on the higher time frame continues to work toward that discount draw, um, in terms of which dealing range we're referring to devise our entries, uh, I th- the question that's kind of ruminating, or I'm trying to put it together. Um, where would it be best to kind of analyze that from? So what I would typically do, so we have this weekly draw lower that I'm seeing as well, and you've been talking about it last couple of weeks. Um, and that idea gets to my mind because it's like, oh, well, in a higher time frame, we're in a discount. But if I mark out like a 15-minute range, we could be in either or premium or discount. So my question is, would I be waiting for that sort of intermediate time frame for price to be in that premium level there in alignment with the higher time frame to take my entries, or how would I best approach that, if that makes sense?
Michael, did that make sense to you? It made sense to me. I'm not sure if it did to you.
I thought I was understanding it, but let me see if I can respond in what I think I understood the question was, and allow him to articulate beyond what he
Excellent.
did if I'm not. So when we're looking at this this big daily range, okay, for weeks we've been just hammering around inside this thing, and I've been very candid about where I think we're likely to draw to, and it's been a little bit of encouragement the last couple of days, seeing it gave up the ghost in the middle of its range. So if you look at the highest high on the daily chart for the indices, and go back down to the inefficiency, that it's all basically all this whole big block of price action, this consolidation. Pull up a weekly chart and you'll see the one buy side and sell side efficiency that's basically holding this thing up. It's like a toothpick holding up a pot roast. Where is all that strength coming from? One single little candle. It's holding all this months of price action. So it's more likely that it's going to come down and revisit that inefficiency on the weekly chart. By measuring that weekly consolidation, though, and do it through the lens of the daily chart, you can define what discount and premium is. And we just recently traded back to equilibrium just this week, and we immediately sold off. We aggressively moved away from that. So when we have a higher time frame perspective, like a weekly or a daily, it may go up to a premium to get short and start that run. But because these are hopefully going to be sustained price runs, going into a lower time frame, like for instance an hourly chart, it may take a little while before it goes back up into a quote unquote premium portion of a range. But when we're looking at inefficiencies in terms of the new day opening gap, new week opening gap, and regular trading hours opening range gap, when they go into their portions of what's premium, that is enough. And we don't necessarily need the ranges themselves to be
Okay.
in or originate as a premium or discount. As long as you know what side of the marketplace you're on and where it's reaching to, you get in sync with a move that's underway by using these inefficiencies like we were just discussing the gap theory. Does that help,
Understood.
or is it?
No, it makes perfect sense. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add, Daniel, with your question and what Michael was saying, and to build on what was being said, for us to anticipate what we want to see happen within range logic, when we're able to apply gap logic, which is algorithmically going to be defined by what? Time. So when we're able to utilize the lookbacks of different ranges, and then we're able to see the PD array matrix, this grid that we can interstitially lock within these different NWOGs, NDOGs, and RTH gaps, then all you got to do as a trader is wait at your level for your model. And I mean, there's so many schematics for where and how you can do that within not just the core content, not just 2022, 23, 24, 25, but then you could throw in the OG schematics of the older series, right? Like you could get into all of that, which is awesome. But if we're just staying on the upper level of things, you've got core content in 16, 17, you've got mentorship 22 and forward. Why? Because of Daniel's question just now, which was what? How are we going to determine where price is going to go next? We're going to utilize range logic, previous lookbacks, and then gaps with where and how they form each and every day. At the end of each and every day, we stop and we wait for price to reopen. And when we do, then we have a new day opening gap. We have a new week opening gap. We have a new month opening gap. We have a new quarter opening gap. We have all of these different ways in which we can really be playing both range logic with gap logic. And that, as a community, again, I'm here to help connect dots, right? What we are doing, the dots that Michael is connecting for you, the trader, is for you to pick your poison. Do you resonate more with specific range logic through inefficiencies or relative highs and lows? Or do you gravitate more towards a gap logic where you're trading out of an end dog to another end dog? What's your model look like? How you trading? Where's it at during the time of the day? Which kill zone is it in? How are you able to connect your own dots to that happening? Because that's what you're learning. That's what you learn. The schematic detail, the process and the procedure. Month 8, high probability trading. Month 7 is going to be short-term trading. Month 6 is going to be swing trading. For you to understand your daily intraday profiles, it is good to step back and look at what Daniel also mentioned was a multi-time frame sync, a way in which you can align fractally multi-time frames. You understanding your weekly profile is going to be very advantageous for when you want to take trades intraday. So month 6, swing trading. Where do you learn that at? You're going to go to high probability trading out of 8 after you've already done 8. You can then step a little backwards into 7 if you want, and or 6. 6 is swing trading. If you want to know higher time frame projections, you want to go back to core content month 6, and you want to look at how you would be projecting the logic that you took from the daily highs and lows and how to capture a protraction within 70% of any range from month 8. And you're going to start looking at multi-time frame analysis in 6 and 7. So we're introducing that just because of where we're at in the conversation. Daniel, am I building on what you're asking? That's what I want to know.
For sure. No, you definitely are.
Okay, good.
If I can add something.
Yes, please, Michael.
Kitt. Oh, I'm sorry.
The idea of using the last 5 days opening range gaps. Okay, let's assume that everybody was in agreement we were looking for lower prices this week. This is agreed just for the sake of discussion and dialogue. We're expecting lower prices on NQ and lower prices on ES. And we have our range that can be gridded out with the last 5 days, if that's all you're going to use, or the last 2 weeks. That way you're including the last 2 Mondays and Fridays. So you have a nice solid range of opening range gaps. Once you have them highlighted, scrunch your chart up and see what the highest high is and the lowest low, regular trading hours opening range gap. So that's your highest premium and that's your lowest discount. If you're part of a daily or weekly expectation that the market's going to go lower, any time that we spend in the upper half of the range defined by that grid on the regular trading hours opening range gaps, the same thing can be applied to new day opening gaps, and the same thing you can apply to new week opening gaps, because the market's constantly referring back to all of them. But once it refers to one, it may leave its premium side of that range. In other words, let's say it like this. If you were looking at the last 5 regular trading hours opening range gaps for NQ, and let's say that the highest one, its regular trading hours opening range gap high, the highest level of all 5 of them is, say, it's 25,000 even. And the lowest one, the lowest regular trading hours opening range gaps low in all 5 of them is 24,500. You have a grid of 500 handles. When price is above the midpoint of that, okay, you are in premium. Your best sell scenarios are going to happen in that portion. Once it leaves there, then you're going to be looking for speed, magnitude, and distance to cover, because we're in the lower half. And what happens then? It respects the upper half of that grid. If it's bearish, it's going to be respecting it. That means it should not travel up in there anymore. So when it leaves it, treat it the same way we do with all PD arrays. Stay out of the upper half, do all the work in the lower half, and then once it starts to sell off, you should see immediate feedback. Gaps should stay open. If it does go into a gap, it should spend a little bit of time there and then sell off. all fair value gaps that are SIBI or institutional ortho entry drills or short-term highs when they get taken, they should immediately see displacement lower, giving you trust and feedback saying that you're on side. And that's how you navigate from a higher time frame, premium to discount, to using these inefficiencies to grade where you're at in the whole green scheme of things.
Mic drop. Clip that there, sir. We got that time stamp there, 12:09. Michael is definitely feeling the energy in the room.
Yeah, that's good.
Pip Munch.
Yes, can I say something?
Pretty please, with love. Mike's yours.
Okay, thank you. I have found the notes of the little nugget from the relative equal highs, and it's in several places. He also said it.
I love that you just said that. I actually have more than one places that I can cite, Michael, here.
Yes.
Again, Pit Munch, high five. You're my kind of gal. I just like how you just roll in here like, yeah, well, actually, I can cite my source in more than. I'm sorry I couldn't pull it up instantaneously, but it took me a whole 5 minutes to search my notes. Anyway, I love it, dear. I love it. Thank you.
It's like 5 sources, and but some of them are spaces from 2025, which were really good. So the one I've chosen is an actual lecture. I think that's easier for everyone. And it's ICT 2024 Mentorship Lecture 1, August 5th.
I love you. I love you.
I have the timestamp. It's 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. That's the timestamp.
Boys, pay attention. This is how it's done. I mean, I've set the standard personally, and the women in the room have followed the assignment. So, boys, if you're gonna step up here and say, no, but ICT said, ICT said,
yeah, where, when?
Yeah, Cap. I mean, Mr. Cap Jones in the room. You must cite your sources, young man. You must publish charts. There is an inefficiency in the force. And that's your yapper versus you teaching and talking versus what you showing. So we like to show what we do, right?
Yeah, you know what I do that because I know he's gonna talk about it again. So I want to go back and then add it to what I already have. So that's why it's like I like to assemble the puzzle. But I also, if you permit me, would like to quote what he said there.
Please.
What he said is, when you're looking for relative equal highs, here's your secret weapon. And I was like, yes, a secret weapon. And he said, how do you know it's a high probability relative equal high that's likely to get swept or traded through? And then he said, if you have 2 highs and the one on the left is slightly higher than the one on the right.
I love you. We typically like to save Easter eggs for the well-studied and astute, but Trader Roundup has a nickname for, Easter eggs. We are kind of known for that. So, sorry.
Should I drop it in the comments?
Well, yes, pretty please. The fact that you can cite Michael's work means that we love it, means that you wholeheartedly can share with the folks who are tapped in what Michael shared. Absolutely. We're all about citing our sources.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna put it in.
Honestly my favorite way to be as a community. And I mean, I say that with love. Yeah. When folks don't do that, it's frustrating because it's very easy with a body of work such as this man's to go back and cite your sources.
Yeah, but it's also, if I can be honest, it's also, for me, it's some kind of respect.
I agree. I agree with the man in the room. I say the only thing you can do is represent it respectfully. And as an academic, you need to provide your bibliography. If you cannot provide a bibliography where you have cited your sources, then guess what? it don't
Yeah.
really matter what you say, right?
How you gonna defend your PhD without your phone?
Exactly. And we have that within the breadth of work. And then not just the breadth of work of what's on YouTube, we have spaces and then we have everyday interaction, right? So again, I love to be, at the tip of the sword with you, and we love this interaction. So it's perfect. Whoo. Keeping it going, keeping it flowing. Wow. Intense. Feeling it. Dan trades. Lots of energy in the room, guys. Let me just tell you, as a host, I get to sense and feel the energy, and it's like, wow, really, really wild how uplifting and like spiraling upwards all of this really, really is. So it's very unique, and it's sometimes difficult to harness, but I can tell you it's pretty awesome. Dan, you're up. Dan?
Hey, brother. You
Yes,
got me?
sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you.
All right. Thanks, man. Just wanted to make sure. I appreciate you letting me bookend this week. I can't tell you how amazing it was to talk to you, and it took me 3 days to go back and listen to myself on Wednesday. So thank you again, Michael. And it was a very powerful week to me. I'll tie it right into trading. And for those that don't know, Dan, 53, been trading for about 15 years. Found Michael in 2022, doing ICT cents. A lot of just little basics here. I'm not walking out today, so it's going to be good. But
And you were on a trader roundup a few days ago, right? So for the folks maybe also that are tapped in, you were recently on, so as well.
Yep, absolutely. Appreciate you, man. But this was the first week, and Michael, I was straight up as the first time I actually used weekly profiles because I'm like, yep, Tuesday high of the week, I see it coming out, I see it playing out. So I actually had a great trade set up and I went to bed, but I made the mistake of strangling the trade too close, and it would have been profitable, but it got taken out when it took out Asia highs when London retraced. So I'm learning to go through my retracements. It's finally a good thing. These are paper trades still. I didn't put any live trades on. I'm still down to my 2 for the year, but I'm getting back in sync. I'm just hitting it twice. I learned that lesson. And then yesterday I touched on the TJF concept. I'd used it for the daily profile saying, yep, I made the low of the day, the PM opening range. I said, there's some beautiful highs right there. Target that. Walked 100 points and we were happy. So it was a beautiful day. Just loved it. So the way that I see some of these things, it's like I'm an engineer by trade, 25 years in IT, sales engineering kind of stuff. And I took it to the point of firewall rules, where it's like, I can't take a trade because I got the rules against it. Maybe that'll help someone else like trip that concept, or just, programming languages, if-then statements. It all kind of comes together in one big package. It's beautiful. And then you tie in the psychology side, Michael, it's ridiculous. And, I echo everything that everyone said today. And I think there is a time that you have to put into this until you are ready to obtain the wealth. I truly believe that from the higher power perspective. You're not going to get rich because you learn these things. Wealth will come to you when you have the ability to handle it. And that's from the psychology. And talking about toxic relationships, Michael, on top of what I shared Sunday, which I'm not going to go back into it, but also coming off the heels of, 2 failed marriages because they weren't built on faith. And knowing that, seeing that now, and knowing that you were like talking directly to me about a toxic relationship and knowing I was in one, but not wanting to admit it. So going through divorces and getting through all that and getting closer to God is just amazing. Praise the Lord for sure. But if you don't know Michael, discipleship and whatnot, I would love to see you you're already doing it, but we could do an official one so we don't take the trading people that don't want to be of faith and do a small group for the Berean study. I'd love to be a part of that community discipleship. We're working together, man. This is how it's all going to work. And I took to heart the anxiety side, and I listened to Lucinda, I think her name was. Incredible program. And if anyone's looking for a way to learn how to manage your anxiety, depression, whatever it is, and get on the psychology side, and I feel like I'm a salesman, but I don't mean to. I learned this going through therapy. 30 Days to Resilient. It's on a free pause app, Pause. It's an app out there. You can get 30 Days Resilient. John Eldridge changed my life. So if anyone out there struggling with that, I followed right in your psychologies. Lucinda Bassett, that's her name. Great program. Then on the heels, John Eldridge. Everything he does is incredible. It'll change your life.
Dan,
And
Dan, Dan, I just
go
want to
ahead.
add, I just want you to know that we don't need to break off into any other group. That Trader Roundup is everything that you're looking for and what you're seeking in a Barian study group. Okay,
I love it,
you're
brother.
home, buddy. You're home. Don't worry about it. Okay,
I'm here for it.
it's all good.
Yeah, if it ever gets to the point where I can't lift up Christ here and allow him to be the star of everything here, because
No,
I'm not
that's
it.
Bible for sure.
Yeah,
That's
if I couldn't do that here, I wouldn't be here.
Amen.
the amen to that. Thank you. Amen to that. Amen to that, brother. Champs, let me get Champs in. I got Pippi here. We got Pip Munch. I got some really good ads here. Some great ICT traders that are leading by example here. My boy Champagne Trades here, and Pippi B. Regular, but Champagne, jump in here, buddy, and introduce yourself, pretty please. Do me right with the whole deal.
Yo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know the protocol. What's up, everybody? Shout out to everybody that's here. Hello, ICT. Thank you for everything you do. It's protocol. My name is Darren. I go by Champagne Trades. I've been trading since 2015. I'm 37. I picked up on ICT's concepts in 2022, and I wanted to just share my story a little bit because we're talking about spiritual and manifestation. And most of the people here, y'all know how hard I go for ICT concepts, and it's the reason behind that. So I started trading in 2015, basic retail strategy, support and resistance, EMAs, supply and demand, all that good stuff. Went to school for supply and demand, all of that. And I just could not figure it out. And I'm gonna touch on like what I think is super important about what ICT is doing in his recent teachings. But guys, I just could not figure this out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hated losing. That was one thing. And the thing is, like, I couldn't figure out why price was doing what it was doing. So I felt like I couldn't improve. I didn't know why my trades were losing. I didn't know why they were winning. And people would just tell me, you just got to show up and accept it, which is true. But I knew it was something more to it. And after like 5 to 6 years of trading all these basic retail concepts, not being able to figure it out, figure myself out, I was ready to quit. And this is where the spiritual part of this comes in full circle for me. I was ready to quit until somebody told me about these three letters, ICT. And I'm like, bro, I didn't try everything. I didn't went to school. I didn't pay thousands of dollars for mentorships. This trading shit not real. Like it doesn't work. And then they dropped them three letters on me. So I start being the freak of nature that I am when it comes to research, digging into YouTube. I come across ICT interview on the Trading Nut podcast. And I'm like, I've never seen this before. He got so many followers, so many people champion his his concepts, and they have the same story. I failed at everything until I found ICT. So I'm like, it's no way, man. I'm not falling for this again. I start watching this podcast. I start watching him. I start watching his students. I'm like, what? And I was already trading gaps from a popular supply and demand trader. In hindsight, now that I know what I know, he wasn't trading them correctly. But I was already familiar with fair value gaps a little bit. But I was ready to quit because I couldn't pass my prop firm challenge. Or actually, I passed it and then I lost it like the same week, which was my own fault. So anyway, long story short, I don't want to keep y'all here all day, but I dove into the 2022 concepts and it blew my mind because it was everything I was looking for as far as narrative. I was able to, as a creative, I was able to paint a picture on why price is going here. And then another thing that ICT that I resonated with him was his confidence. I'm a confident person and I'm like delusional. Like ain't no plan B for me. It never was. So I know like all of this spiritual stuff and manifestation stuff, you gotta believe that you can do this. And what I really love that ICT is doing now is he's putting trading back into a space of reality where it's not about gaming prop firms. Because trading is about making your life better on and off the charts. And when you can do stuff like cover little bills in here and there, everybody want to jump from like zero to $20,000. Nobody want to be realistic and like pay a phone bill here, make some extra money to go out on the weekend. My first withdrawal was $36. I still remember it's like it was yesterday. So it's like a full circle moment for me because I was really ready to quit until I saw him on that podcast. And then full circle, here we are 4 years later. The first person that ever asked me to do a podcast and like tell my story publicly, because y'all know I show everything on social media, was the Trade in That podcast. And I never did any type of podcast. I never even knew the dude. He just saw what I was doing on social media, reached out to me to tell my story about ICT. So that's such a full circle. That was such a full circle spiritual moment for me because I've always been trying to figure out trading. I've always been trying to figure out how to be my own boss and always been trying to figure out how to help people. And ever since that podcast, I got a lot of people that started their ICT journey because they had the same story I did, which is where I tried a bunch of stuff, didn't work, but you knew you can do it and you had an insane self belief in yourself. And I shared my story. I saw other people share their story about their journey. And yeah, and yeah, my bad, Kitt. I forgot to tell you or tell everybody my model. So how I gauge a price is I'm trading the expansion of either the daily or the 4 hour candle, and I'm trading a market maker model within that, and I'm entering at macros. And of course, I use everything like premium discount, or everything ICT is taught, quads, all that stuff. And then I use SMT and standard deviation expansion just for added confluence.
So if I had to break it down and make it like super painfully easy, you trade dojis. You wait for a doji to form, and then you trade it.
Yeah, I wait for that Judas swing for sure.
Ooh,
Whether it's on the
boy.
daily or the
Anyone
4 hour.
listening, a high time frame doji. That's what my
Got
boy
to.
is, what he's looking for. So, like that 4 hour doji, that daily doji, if he's just waiting for a doji to form, boys and girls, that's a solid model, my friend. High five. That's like sauce, in my opinion. That's painfully
Yeah, for
simple,
sure.
but very, very good
Very
because you
simple.
want the expansion. You want an expansion
Yeah,
and you understand that consolidation happens before expansion. That's core content month one. Why we always reiterate that is because when you become successful and profitable, the most simple and the most basic concepts are what you resonate with the most. Am I wrong?
that is correct.
I mean,
And I'm using intraday time frames to confirm that. So if we're in like an order block or a fair value gap on a 4 hour, I'm looking on a 15 minute for a market maker model to expand in that same direction. And then I'm just entering on a 1 minute time frame. Um, like
man, that
ICT's favorite
multi-time
video is
frame
that,
confluence, that's just a
yeah,
lot of sauce right there for anyone listening. It's like really simple, but he's looking for it on a high time frame, and then he's kind of zooming in to the lower time frame to be able to take literally the PD array matrix. And now that
there
we
you go.
have the grid and we have key levels and we understand where they are and how to apply them, you're really just
Yep,
looking for ways in which to apply trades that align with time and a key level within your
yep.
logic. Am I wrong?
No, you are 100% correct. And it's like, ICT tells us this. Like everybody always try to, and this is why I be on the front. I know people see me on Twitter, be like, "Yo, he be wilding out."
I
I
love
know
it because I
ICT.
love it because you take all the ICT bashers and you're like, oh, what? Who you talking to? And you actually put a light on them. I've almost commented a couple times on some of this shit you posted because there just be some haters out there that just want some clout. Just be like, oh, but I used to trade ICT, blah blah blah. I'm retarded, but I
Yeah,
never figured it out, blah blah blah. Everyone ICT, blah blah blah. Right?
yeah.
Anyway.
And I just be so passionate about it, bro, because the proof is there. Like I've done it myself. I've literally struggled for 6 years in front of everybody on social media, dating back 4 years ago, in front of everybody, and I changed my life with ICT concepts. And it was simply because of the narrative. And everybody want to skip the rants. Everybody want to skip the hard part, but the rants is what made me the most profitable because all these other mentors who were just trying to sell me something, they wasn't talking that, excuse my language, they wasn't talking that real shit to me. ICT gonna talk right into your chest and he gonna tell you what you need to hear. He not gonna sugarcoat it. He gonna tell you you're gonna get it wrong. You need to do this, you need to do that. He's gonna tell you you need to be patient. That's the biggest thing that really like it just took me back to the basics with his latest videos when he's talking about being patient. He tells you you need to learn on a demo account. And I'll be telling people this for the same reason he does. Like what we're learning right now with ICT concepts is like high level PDA shit. So it's not as simple as like support and resistance, supply and demand. Like if you have money on the line and you need to make money, that's going to make your journey harder to learn these concepts because you need to learn them without the money like swaying your decision making. And then once you learn them and it becomes muscle memory, you can add whatever type of money you want. Like ICT always say, you'll know when you're ready. And I think people just try to rush through his concepts and they don't want to do the work. But you got to do the work. You go to college for 4 years and don't see what we gonna see with this trading stuff. So it's like you got to do the work. So I just want to give
Disassociating
yeah,
with the output and really focusing on the input is what you're saying. Like as if you were a machine, as if you were a
yeah,
student, you're focused on the inputs and you're not focused on the outputs. And if more folks didn't focus so much on ICT concepts being about how much money can I make tomorrow instead of how can I apply these concepts into being a better person off of the chart? How can I apply these concepts to being a better person
yeah,
on the chart? And then how within understanding these concepts can I apply time? Because none of these happen
yes,
without time. And as soon as you can
facts.
conceptualize that, then you can begin a healthy journey. And unfortunately, so many people are so reckless and they let themselves get hurt because they are so focused on money that you need to be in demo, you need to quit being an asshole, and you need to have a good relationship with God. Then
Yes, yes,
you can begin the starting of trying to learn how to trade within the community that we fostered here, right? Because without
facts.
any of that, there's nothing here. We're not here for you. We can't do anything for you.
So true. Yeah, man. That's all I wanted to say. I
I
just
love
wanted
it,
to share
bro.
my
I didn't.
story.
I love it. High five,
Yeah,
man. I mean,
so,
high five. We're just adding value today, keeping the conversation going. 12:30. I like the time.
Just so you know, I see you out there. You soldier up and you see these fucking clowns. Like they literally talk out their asses to hear themselves or see themselves, try to say something significant, try to sound like they're a
yeah.
smart ass. And I see you slap them around. It's fun watching it.
I don't mean to bring any drama to your life or anything
No,
like that,
no,
because
dude, that's how
I
I
know
go.
you're trying to avoid that. But
He's giving
I
you
be
an
passionate about
attaboy.
it, ICT. I'm not gonna lie. I be passionate about it because I know it's real. People can say what they want,
You
but
just
the
got
proof
an
is there.
attaboy, bro.
Yeah,
I've
but thank you,
almost
Kit,
jumped
for
in a couple too.
creating
I've
this.
almost jumped in a
Yeah,
couple because there's just been some straight up clowns. And when you're not afraid of jumping in and addressing the clowns and the clout slash clowns, clout clowns. It's almost the same word, right? Clout clowns.
yeah,
And they utilize ICT's name very much. I could just say
yeah,
some very inappropriate things that I'm not going to say because I'm
yeah. We
not
ain't
gonna
gotta take
say
it there.
them,
We ain't gotta take it there.
but but
We ain't
but
gotta take it
yeah, I
there.
know. But we already know where I took it energetically, and we don't even have to go there, right? Because we already know, like
Yeah,
that's the telepathic information that applies within this group. I don't know if y'all know it's a real deal. Like
for sure.
I'm just gonna let you guys know I have a very strong telepathic relationship with you, the listener. If you're here, I'm
Yeah,
already bonded with you, and you clearly are bonded with Michael, and we are all bonded together. That's the beauty of it.
yeah. Yeah, I for sure believe like everybody that's on this call, I believe in energy. I believe we all here for a reason.
And we're
I believe
connected, bro. We're
everybody,
connected. That's the
yeah,
thing. If
everybody
you can
is
really,
for
if
sure.
you can conceptualize, if you can close your eyes, take a deep breath, and kind of say a prayer, listen to some binaural beats, put on something maybe that
Yeah.
doesn't have words, put on a frequency, put on something that has,
I know you like that. You talk about the binary. A lot of people don't know about that, kid. A
bro.
lot of people don't know about that. That
Bro, I mean, how about triple
zzz.
trade? How,
I be
how about
listening to that
trading
while
on
I'm
the triple
trading.
eights, my friend? How about trading on a
Yeah,
triple eight
man.
frequency? I don't know if people are ready for all of that, right?
That's deep. That's
Whoa, whoa,
deep.
calm down, kid. Little woo woo here, buddy. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
trading on the
but
triple eight
appreciate you, kid,
frequency.
man.
Don't think we ain't, because I'm just here to tell you. Well, how do you think I got all this energy, right? I'm
I
already
already
here,
know.
bro. You already know it.
I
I'm
already
here.
know. That's why we
I'm
connect.
inviting people over to my frequency over here. That's why we got this energy. 12:33. I like the time, bro. I can't wait to come down and see you. I'm gonna be in Flow Rida before too long. So
Man, come on. I'll show you a
I
good
know.
time.
I'm
Take good
actually
care of you,
stoked.
man.
It's going to
Come
be a
on.
great time. And I mean, like, I got my daughter. How about this? Can I just throw in? I got to sprinkle a tiny bit of my reality into this conversation, right? Like, so my daughter who's crushing it, crushing it.
Hmm.
She's got a full ride scholarship to multiple very good schools with her 4.8
Nice.
GPA. So we're going to these
Shit.
honors schools. But what's funny is it's funny because no matter what, it's funny because I'm empowering my daughter right now. By empowering my daughter, literally the decision she makes costs me 60K, costs me quarter mil, costs me half a mil. And guess what? I can't wait for her to make whatever decision she wants to make. And I also
Hell
know
yeah.
that she's empowered herself, that she's able to apply for these things and get these, like, bro, she's showing up at honors college. Like, they want her there. They're giving her grants. She's
Nice.
done that herself. I get to help provide. But and what's funny is when you are a parent, and again, she's like, all right, is she gonna go? I'm not gonna get into the schools she's going to, but think Big Ten, mostly kind of like
Yeah.
Big Ten, like Midwest kind of schools. Some are bigger, some are smaller. We went to Miami University yesterday. I took pictures of it. It's kind of like an Ivy League of Ohio, kind of Mac 10. That's what they call it. It's like kind of like a cool
Yeah.
little campus. But she, by the way, she's got honors college, like full ride. She wants to study math. She's like showing up. She wants to, and it's funny. I went with her. She sat in the front seat. She's like sitting there, like, I mean, like, you know, when you see someone that loves and thrives within learning, like, I really love my boo in saying that she thrives within structure. And it's very similar to the structure that you get from ICT's YouTube channel for folks that don't understand what structure looks like. Do you want to know what
Hmm.
academic structure looks like? Follow through, core content. That's it.
Yeah.
Follow a professor teaching to you and talking to you. That is what Michael does. Some folks don't understand, or it's foreign for them, the idea of an online class or to be learning something at this academic higher level, which is essentially an online college, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. It doesn't resonate with folks, but when they can apply themselves, and it's nice again talking to my daughter and seeing things through her eyes and what she's going through right now, and then being able to identify with the listener and
Yep.
saying you're on this journey and you're approaching things and you're applying things, and you need to know how to study. You need to know how to apply process.
Gotta do the work. Got to. The work works. But yeah, thanks for having me up here, Kit. Thanks for the community, man. Everything you do. Thank you, ICT, for everything you do. Amazing. And yeah, man. Appreciate y'all.
Glad you're a
I'm
part of
gonna
it,
meet.
brother.
Thank you, brother. Oh yeah,
Hey, Kitt.
congratulations on the new addition to your family too, ICT, and on camera success. Showing camera success, we all seen his little come up too. Very inspiring. So appreciate you.
Yeah, my grandson. I'm trying to do everything I can to get Cody to let me influence him at his early stages because I really, really, really want to see him do something crazy. And if I can start him really, really young with everything I know now, because I didn't know
Yeah.
everything I knew when Cody was born. But I just I hope he allows me that influence.
Yeah, go for it. I'm seeing actually a lot of like younger kids on Instagram that's like trading ICT concepts. I don't know if y'all saw that, but like I saw like 3 kids the other day that were like 10 years old or something crazy trading ICT concepts and killing it.
That's wild.
So
I don't usually go on Instagram. I only see it when my wife shows me certain pages. But yeah, that's wild. I never
yeah,
heard
I'll
that.
send you through the links. I think I saved them on Instagram. I'll send it to you on Twitter. But yeah, man. I hope he lets you do it too. That would be exciting to see if you decide to show it. But yeah, thanks again. Any speakers want to jump up? And thanks to all the
Pippi,
speakers that show love too today.
I mean,
That's
we got
important.
phenomenal group. I feel like we just keep getting better and better and better each and every day. That's part of our mission. I want to again I didn't mean to interrupt Diamond, but again, within being here, our purpose matters to me. And as we've grown over the years, I've been able to reiterate and reinforce our why. We are stronger together. We rise by lifting others. We can accomplish more together in 1 year than we can alone in a lifetime. And the markets will provide. That's our sole purpose for being here. And the fact that we can raise our best version of ourselves to our higher power, very first and foremost, and that is brought to light first and foremost of why we're here. It's a beautiful thing. And it's something you can submit to. I mean, I submit to that energy. I submit to that process because it's a beautiful thing. And when you allow it to flourish within a community, when you allow it to manifest within itself, then we all get to come together and feel what that is. And most folks who don't engage with what we do won't understand the feeling that goes with thought, that goes into creating what we create very mindfully and very conscientiously. And what we are going into, we're in year 4 doing. We've been here doing this. And I hope you tap in.
Can I tap in?
Jump in, Pit Munch.
Okay, I have two little things. I don't know if this is like Easter egg, but um, in the spaces, because I'm still in my notes, and he did a space on 26th of April 2025, and it's called Keys to Infinite Setups That Yield. And in that space, it's full of eggs, Easter eggs. But specifically, let me see where it is. Yeah, in addition to the relative equal height thing that I said, he also said if price just went below a swing low and you have relative equal highs above you, you have like a 90% chance that price is going to go up there. And even if it fails to reach them, you still have the opportunity to take something out, like partials. So if you combine that with high probability, with the high on the left being slightly higher than the one on the right, then I think those are like really good things to know and to use. And he drops them in there like like 1-2 sentences, and you have to pay attention. And let me see. Yeah, the second thing I wanted to say, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, he posted a chart where somebody said the first percent value gap failed because it didn't go there, and then later he posted the execution with a lot of more things, but price eventually went down into that value gap. And I have from that same space here in my notes, he said if price doesn't go back to the first presented fair value gap, you wait until around 10:30, because price will run then into the first presented fair value gap, and then you take profit or a partial in that first presented fair value gap. And I think that's what happened after 10. Price went down into the first percentage fair value gap. So it's not like he didn't teach anything about that. What happened when it
Ooh, I love that you brought that up. And I know for a fact Michael had just already brought up that he's going to be talking more about these things within the open drive and how they develop through the day and throughout the mentorship. So things you're bringing up there, Pit Munch, I love that you brought the full first hour into the market with what Michael, and you're citing Michael in that. What episode was that one more time? Do you remember?
It's yes, it's space. No, I'm sorry. I call it ICT space. It's keys to infinite setups that yield. That's the name of the space. And it's from
Ooh.
the 26th of April 2025.
Ooh, I love that. I love that you can cite that here at
It's
Trader
full. It's
Roundup.
full. It's full of stuff
Oh
like
my
that.
goodness, Pit Munch. I love that. Well, yes, I love, here's the thing, like Michael has mentioned himself that his content has a lot of Easter eggs. And Easter eggs are ways of saying that there's a lot of gems. And it's up to you, the trader, to
Yes.
kind of find them, connect them, and make them work for you. Right. And just the fact that Pit Munch is able to articulate where you can go find for yourself some pieces of information that really resonated with her, in citing the source, in my opinion, that is as perfect of an example of the community doing what the community can and should do. So kudos, Pit Munch. I love it. Like, I try and lead with that same example. We like to say where we get things from so folks can go look for and discover it themselves, right? And hopefully connect dots,
Yeah, no,
because it's all about connecting dots and layering confluences and finding confidence in your edge, which is ICT concepts, and you need nothing else. I mean, you need gaps in a fib. Congratulations. Welcome to the team. Right?
yeah, yeah, and I also want to highlight the value of the spaces because not only for psychology, but also like really, really valuable information that he just drops it in there.
Pit Munch, I'm going to include you on in a conversation on the back end with one of my friends, and I'm going to loop you into an initiative of organization that we are actively working on. So
Oh, cool, I'd love to. Thank you.
I'm very actually excited to loop you in with that group of that effort.
Nice, thank you.
Hey guys, I got until 1 p.m. myself. If you have to escape.
Yeah, beautiful. 15 more minutes and we're wrapping up. Yes, sir.
Hey, Kitt, I was just going to mention, if you want to do some confluence, people that are going through 2022 and 2023, you want to supercharge it. Listen to the Twitter Spaces, X Spaces back then at the same time. There's enough people that host all of them. That's way powerful.
And that, and I'm gonna be
2023.
working on putting that together. And you make a very, very good point. I mean, having playlists that accompany Twitter Spaces that accompany the mentorships, I think, is essential. And that is, I mean, Dan, I love that you say that. I mean, we're doing that, just putting that in the ether. That's happening. I can tell you, we have initiatives that we're working on trying to organize all this stuff to make it all available so anyone can watch it anytime that they want. And it's just easier and it makes sense, right? And I mean, anyway, we're working on it. And
Yeah,
I
hit
mean,
me up
just
if you
you,
need help, brother.
just yeah, dude, yeah, for sure. So we're just talking about YouTube kind of stuff anyway, so it's no big deal. Just trying to put it in one key source. Trader Roundup, YouTube, and/or Kitt Trades probably will be the two channels that we'll be pointing people to, but we're building it right now. So that's the point of it all. Last few minutes, Dan Trades champion Pippy B. Pippy B. We like to leave the best for last, my friend. How are you doing?
What's good, bro? How we doing?
Fantastic, my friend. How about you?
I'm great. I'm great. It was a good space. ICT was fired up in the early portion of it. I love when he gets super duper fired up like that. I love that. But okay, so the other day I said I had a question and it kind of slipped my mind, but now it's back. And what I'm gonna start doing, I have a lot of people hitting me up about questions that they want to push through because they don't want to really come up here. So I'm starting to write them down like little by little.
Pretty pleased. We'll get that organized too, buddy. You're helping me behind the scenes with that as well. So
Right, 100%. So in regards to the event horizon that he clarified exactly what it is, right? I'm starting to see this, I don't want to say a hierarchy, but there is a sequence of the 50% on a fib, right? So when ICT was actually coming up with these concepts, and this is the question, right? When you were coming up with these concepts, or the language rather, right? We know mean threshold is a 50% of the body of a candle. Then you have equilibrium, right, which is the 50% of whatever range that you're actually, projecting, right? Then you have consequent encouragement of, inefficiency, which could be a wick, it could any type of inefficiency. And now, you brought up this event horizon thing, right? Now, what was your thought or thought process with actually coming up with these specific names, right? Because I've been talking to a lot of charters, and this question has been asked before, and it kind of was left unanswered. So just
Jeez. Jeez.
what was your thought process actually coming up with these, right? Because they all are a 50% level, right?
That's
And for
actually a
me,
great question. It really is.
yeah, and for me, like that's all I use the fib for, right? Because one of your biggest concepts for me that really gravitated towards me was buying in a discount, selling in a premium, right? Because when we talk about buying low, selling high, right? Since I started trading, that I understood that immediately, right? Then it came down to the point where, well, what is high and what is low, right? So that little section, when I started learning your concepts, like I gravitated towards that immediately, like the premium and discount portion, right? I was like, oh, this is already similar to how I trade, but now I'm getting more of an understanding of it. So I just want to know, what was your thought process with actually coming up with these specific names, because they obviously mean something deeper within the meaning. I don't know if you're following what I'm saying. I think Kitt like kind of understands what I'm saying.
I definitely do. And if Michael wants me to preface it a little bit before he wants to say anything, I could.
Well, when it comes to like equilibrium is where you're looking at multiple time frames and or candles as a unified range, whereas a single candlestick or consecutive candlesticks that make up an order block, that's a range that's not an inefficiency. Now, when we get into wicks, that's a gap or inefficiency, and or a series of three candles, minimum making a buy side of balance, sell side efficiency, or sell side of balance, buy side efficiency. So either or, that's a fair value gap. The gaps, or when there's an element of inefficiency, I chose the middle ground instead of saying equilibrium because it's not equal. It's not equal to anything because what are you measuring there? It's an inefficiency. So that's not you're not going to have equilibrium inside of an inefficiency. So it's encroaching on the consequence of you holding that position is you're going to have to endure retracement up to half of it. So it's encroaching upon what is reasonable for you to absorb as drawdown if you got the worst case fill at the lowest point when you're shorting. So it was a way for me to define that so that way I can teach myself to hold on to a trade before I learned how to get my better entries. Because sometimes I would be impulsive and wait for quote unquote more confirmation. And I would be entering near the lowest point of entry when I'm shorting, but still being in these PD arrays. I would see it forming, but I'd be fearful. And then once it gets down to, for instance, let's look at a SIBI as an example. We have a sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. You know the midpoint is consequent encroachment. I would, many times in the beginning, I would anticipate that thing going up to half of it, and then I'd be afraid to get in right there. So I wanted to wait for it to come right back down to the low of it, and right before it gets to the low of the fair value gap formation of the gap, once it gets to that low point, then I usually enter there. I'm not entering at the half point when I first started. I was scared. And I had to grow into this. I had to get used to doing it. So the label made sense to me as in terms of it's encroaching on this midpoint, and it's consequential. If I give up the willingness to hold the trade, it's consequential to me. The outcome, it's going to have an impact on it. So I learned by experience that I got scared out of trades when they would do that because I got in too far low in the spectrum of that PD array, and that little bit of a retracement that's now understood as a normalcy in price delivery. I didn't see it as such because I was trading with too much leverage. I was trying to make a whole lot of money, and I was doing things impulsively while still discovering where my place is and all this stuff. So that's where the consequent encroachment idea came from. Equilibrium is just part of a range. I didn't create that term. It's just everybody knows that, but it's usually like a trading range. Consider the range on the daily chart with the indices for the last several months. The highest high and lowest low. divide that in half, that 50% there, that's equilibrium. It's part of a collective of multiple time frames measuring this big block of price action. That's equilibrium. The mean threshold is when we're talking about a very specific candlestick, okay, or a order block. Since it's not an inefficiency, it's one singular reference point in time measuring the highest high, lowest low, open, high, low, close. The midpoint is the mean. And the threshold is when we are looking for it to be a bearish influence, it can trade up to half of it. And that's the mean. It's the threshold of it being returning back to its mean and then resuming where you think it's going to go. So that's kind of like where I got the ideas from in the naming.
And then the event horizon was the last one.
The event horizon is just simply me noticing that when I was in trades and I was taking targets below sell side liquidity pools or below old lows, singular low or relative equal lows, it would many times go further than I thought they would go. So the natural progression of trying to improve my exits, which is still an ongoing art form for me, I'm never really probably ever going to be satisfied with that. The idea of reaching for specific levels that are not defined by actual highs and lows, not actual PD arrays that are printed on the chart. So by noticing where old lows were and old highs, if I'm trading from a higher premium and I'm looking for sell side liquidity pool, once I get through that liquidity pool, I'm in open space. So I had to formulate an idea around dead space, no man's land. I teach all of you to try to avoid trading in no man's land because you don't have the experience to see things that's not in the chart. The event horizon is a facilitation of putting in the perception of where price may go in between actual levels that's printed in price. So an example would be an old high that we traded back down to. That's classic support and resistance. I don't subscribe to that. What I've seen is I had a short-term low or a relative equal low that I'd be shorting to as a target. That's my terminus. And then what if it kept on going? What if it was going to give them that example where classic support and resistance would work and it returns back to that old high that's lower than that sell-side liquidity pool that I was targeting? I would try to use that once in a while, but it would never give it to me. It would always go real close to halfway and then reverse and go the other direction. So I was like, okay, there's an event horizon right there. Everybody's expecting it to get back down to that old high. So midway, that's about a good place, maybe a tick or two above. I'm going to aim for that as a target and just start studying it. You see, I mean, it's just like, that's not buying and selling pressure, in my opinion. That's just them saying, this is midpoint. Everybody can see that level down there. It's old order flow. They can see that there was real trades back there. And everybody that reads books would expect it to trade there. So since it's retail logic and everybody in the common perspective of trading from the street perspective, you know, the average person, the common person like I was when I first started, we would expect it to trade down there. So by dividing the low that I'm aiming for sell-side liquidity pool to be tapped into, once it trades below that, I'm measuring that low to the old high or a lower low that may be a target but has yet to be traded to. I'll measure the midpoint between that, and that'll be a partial for me, or be a complete closure if I'm feeling like it's appropriate time to close the trade. But it's that event horizon was just it's a brainstorm that came by way of looking at how I can improve my exits.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, answers a lot of questions within the charter community. Pippi, would you agree with that? Let's put that to bed, right, Pippi?
Yes, 100%. 100% good. Thank you for the clarification of everything. Now there's no confusion,
No.
and that's why I like these spaces, because whatever, little
Ambiguity.
gaps in understanding, we can get it here directly. right? And yeah, ICT, I got a lot of more questions for you.
Well,
I got them written
for
down, but not for today. Not
for
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 today.
what
But
it's
yeah,
worth, it feels really like Pippi's coming up with notes from the Telegram channel here to trade a roundup from the private charter community. And I mean, I know Michael knows that just in like the vibe of the stuff that Pippi's like. I'm here to present to represent the private charter community and some questions we have in regard to the reference and terminology of every single midpoint you've ever named in regards to a gap or a range in the inefficiency and liquidity paradigm that we're all trading together, that we understand with where and how Michael explains it. So 12:58, I love the time. I love the macro. It's a great macro, by the way. Really good one. Once you get the 11:50 and that 12:50, it's a good one. Like retraces right around now, personally, before we get the continuation of the move. But we found a place, I think, to end this today. And I want to thank all the speakers. And I mean, the leadership and the vision is so clear. And it's very, very easy for us to follow and come together as a community and strategize with where and how to follow a very crystal clear leader with a path with where and how to not hurt yourself and with where and how to learn how to navigate price. So thank you again, everybody. Trader Roundup, Shotgun Saturday, follow through. Your boy Kitt here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll do it again soon. And again, Michael, thank you very much. We've hit the delicate target. Thank Mama Huddleston for allowing Papa Bear to hang out with us for a bit. And have a great one, everybody. And we'll see you on the next one.
Enjoy your
Peace.
weekend, folks. Be safe.